Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I am your host today, Jared Timms, and I'm joined alongside my co-host, my partner in crime, Nate Green, everybody. Welcome again to Nate Green, co-host of Talking Halos. Give me some enthusiasm there.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here, Jared. This is fantastic.
Went full Superman here. Walked in, and then I put on the Superman cape.
It's time to go.
Time to go here, guys. Time to go. All right. As always, you guys know I like to start this show off with a question of the day. And a question of the day here for you, Nate. Kind of a fun one here. Minor league question. Best minor league name. Best minor league team's name.
Wow.
I have my favorite. I'll tell you that much. My favorite of all time. Montgomery Biscuits.
Okay.
Big Biscuits guy here. I love everything about the Biscuits. Previously, I liked the Sand Gnats. I actually was a Sand Gnat for a while, which was a lot of fun. So Sand Gnats would be another one that I really like. You can't go wrong though with a lot of the teams out in the Cal League. The Storm, love the Storm.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Hawks. But dude, there are so many fun names.
It's funny you said a double-A team. And the first one that came to my mind was a double-A team as well. The Akron Rubber Ducks. That was the first one that came to my mind. I don't know why, but I think the Rubber Ducks are kind of sweet.
We are going to get absolutely destroyed if we don't mention the Rocket City Trash Pandas, by the way.
Obviously, that was the first one, but you can't be too biased on the
No, yeah, you can't be biased. Obviously, Angels ones come to your mind, and that was it.
Yes, of course. That was literally the first one that came to my mind, but then it was like, okay, let's go to the next one because you don't want to be that guy to be like, all right, Angels everything.
Yeah, there are just so many good minor league teams, and there's so many team names that I don't even think about. I can't. The AZL Angels. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I know, right? So, guys, just want to thank you all so much for listening to this podcast and watching this podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much for doing it all and supporting us here. We have another round of questions from you guys here. So if your question was not answered the time before, it will be answered today. A lot of fun here. Again, guys, thank you so much for supporting this podcast, making it the best Angels podcast out there. Again, guys, please hang in there. Bad reception with the Wi-Fi. We're working on it. We're working on the Wi-Fi reception. It's just been bad here in Boise, Idaho, for those who don't know. But yeah, guys, if you could follow us on all of our social medias, just look up Talking Halos, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Timms. You can follow Nate at NateGreen34. So Nate, let's get back to the questions. And first question comes from friend of the show, listens to the show. He's got a blue check mark, ladies and gentlemen. Go follow him. Steve. I'm going to butcher his name. I gave him such a good introduction.
You just did that, and then you're going to butcher the...
I'm sorry, Steve. Steve Scazzolio.
Wow.
Scazzillo? I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher it. God, I suck so bad. I am horrible.
You
really.
Did that. I can't believe
Tell me how to pronounce it, Steve. Just shoot me a message when you listen to this. Tell me how to pronounce it because I need to know how to pronounce it. I got to work on it. Question from Steve is, can you name the Angels starting rotation for the upcoming season? Let's do this together. Number 1 starter.
Shohei Ohtani.
Number 2 starter. Noah Syndergaard. 3 guy?
Let's go Sandoval.
That's fine. You can go after that because I think that's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
In that order, in a sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it really matters. But in that order, that's kind of how you're going. Number 4 guy.
I think it's Lorenzen.
I want to say Reed Detmers.
Okay.
Righty, lefty. 5 guy. Lorenzen's going to get all the opportunities in the world.
Yep. I think it's going to be Detmers for me, so that way it's right, left.
That's fine. And then the
Suarez would be
Suarez is your 6th guy. Yeah. I think that's kind of the way it's going to be set. I'd be shocked if the Angels were out there looking for more starting pitching. I think they have enough depth, and everybody's gonna be like, Jared, we do this shit every year. I know. I think they have enough depth. I think they have enough depth though.
No. You have to give Detmers a chance.
We talk
about this every year. do they have enough veteran depth? That is the biggest thing. Because what happens is, and the teams that are good, they call up a kid who the the Dodgers, the Yankees, the teams that are good, they're calling up not kids, they're calling up guys who have been in the big leagues before to make starts for them. They're not calling up a kid to make his major league debut, game 45, and the Angels really need to win this game because they're playing, I don't know, the White Sox, and it's a must win series for them. That's the biggest thing. Do they have enough veteran depth? And I don't think so. I still think they need to go get a minor league free agent. You got Danny Duffy, you got Matt Boyd, who are both going to be available around June. Go sign one of those guys. Go sign another guy like that, and just see what happens. Like, we have done this so many years. Where the one year that I'm really upset about is when we got Doug Fister on a minor league contract, released him. He started against us the next day in Boston and shoved. He gave up like 1 run in 5 innings, and we're like,
Angels
we really
baseball.
could have used that like 2 weeks ago.
And by not going out and by not going out and getting starting pitching, I meant Carlos Rodon. That's what I meant. I don't think they're going to go get that big name. I'm all good. I think they're going to go get some depth like that, some minor league depth. Even if it's Danny Duffy,
they could still make a trade.
Yes. Oh no, 100%. They definitely could. And talking to Taylor Blake Ward about this, and we had the minor league wrap up last week where we talked about minor league, the Angels minor league, and we got asked the question of what a package looks like for Luis Castillo, and the first thing I said is the Angels need to make a trade like this to go get somebody. If they want to compete, you have to go make a trade like this. And I think they can. And here's my thought. This is, and you guys are all going to hate this. Stay close to it. Stay as close as you can, if you can. And I know this isn't like a Jared. If they could stay close, they would. Stay as close as you can to a playoff spot. It seems like the playoffs are going to be expanding. Go get somebody in July. Go get somebody in July. Go find that guy in July, because I think the Angels have enough to get to July. I think that if and there's a lot of ifs, we've talked about this before, if everything works out, if Shohei Ohtani is healthy and continues to shove, if Noah Syndergaard is healthy and returns to a half of what he was in New York, if Patrick Sandoval returns and is what he was last year, which I don't see why he wouldn't be, if Reed Detmers takes that next step, like, you have enough to get to July and go get a starting pitcher for cheaper.
Well, what you're saying is, why go out and give up all these prospects right now when they could easily finish with 75 wins again? Yeah. And, we gave up all these prospects for a 1-year rental. Why not go all the way to July and see, hey, we're, 5 games out of the wild card. Let's go get John Means. Let's go get, Sonny Gray or I don't know.
Luis Castillo. Yeah, who knows what Luis Castillo does this next year? Like, what if Luis Castillo
is even available?
5 ER? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, 100%. And there's shot number 2 for you guys. You take the shots for Jared saying 100%. But yeah, I don't think I said that in the last podcast very much. I don't
think you did either.
So,
but yeah, you just look at who could be available in July, and depending on how some of these teams do. I mean, Cleveland has so much pitching that they might be willing to move a pitcher for an offensive player. And you just continue to look at it. Miami could be willing to move a guy because one of their kids are ready. Maybe the Giants aren't in it.
You go look at Washington, and maybe Patrick Corbin's having a good year, and they're looking to eat some money. Like, I know that you're not a big Patrick Corbin fan, but there are a lot of those guys out there that you can go and at least think about getting. Like I say, I know that everybody wants to get another starting pitcher, but hang tight. I think the depth is okay. We didn't even talk about Griffin Canning, and you don't know what Griffin Canning is. I know we're not big fans of Griffin Canning. We want that slower off-speed pitch, but like, hang on until July. Like, what if the Angels are, what if the Angels make all these trades and all these ifs don't pan out? Then I'm okay with trading Noah Syndergaard. I'm okay with trading. The Aaron Loop market will probably be open. Like, I know that he signed a 2-3 year
multi-year deal. Yeah,
multi-year deal. But I mean, who knows? Teams are going to be coming and asking for certain guys. So hang tight on I think on trading for a starting pitcher. and I don't think the right starting pitcher is out there to sign
And
to a
I
multi-year
mean,
contract.
who would have guessed last year that Max Scherzer was going to be available in July?
Oh, exactly.
Not many people were saying, "Oh, Max Scherzer is going to be available in July. Let's wait until July, and hopefully we're in it. We're going to give up everything for Max Scherzer." So I'm not saying there's going to be a Max Scherzer. There's only a couple guys that are even that elite to go get, but there could be a guy that we're not even thinking about right now who's available in July. Maybe the Diamondbacks move Madison Bumgarner for nothing. And I know Bumgarner is very similar to Corbin, where he's got a lot of
Zach
money and
Gallen.
has not been good. Yeah, Zach Gallen, if he stays healthy, he could be a guy they move.
Yeah.
So there are some guys that could be available for, and the Bumgarner thing could be very cheap.
Yeah.
You know, it could be like a single A prospect guy where we're not really giving up too much because his contract is so much. So, and I know his velo's down and things like that, but maybe an off season got him ready to go. So I don't know. There's going to be a bunch of guys available that we don't need to go sell a farm for right now.
Yep. I'm with you on that. Like German Marquez is a perfect example, you know, like what if he puts up a 5 ERA and just isn't the dude that he's supposed to be, you know? Like, I mean, you never know. You just never know. Pitching's volatile. So yeah, very interesting point, you know, and I think the Angels are okay on depth. I think they're okay on depth. Jaime Barria is a guy. You don't know what Lorenzen's going to do. He can start, he can relieve. You know, I just think that depth-wise, the Angels are okay if they need to be there, you know.
You've been saying this for 7 years.
I believe it now, you know. I actually believe it. I didn't believe it. That's a weird thing to say. So fantastic question. Got us going here. Next question comes from Nate's burner, Dominic Saldana. Nate, this sounds exactly like you. Yep. So thanks for asking your question, Nate, on your burner account. Why are fans always concerned about the Angels having an innings eater? Wait, that wouldn't be you. You want an innings eater. In a six-man rotation, let me continue here. In a six-man rotation, most of the starters would get anywhere from 150 to 160 innings maximum. Realistically, it's around 125 to 130 range. Yes, I know we have had someone throw, you know, that many innings. They haven't had somebody throw that many innings, I think was what he was trying to say. So I have also thought about this recently a lot. So this might actually be my burner account now that we're talking about this. But I have been thinking about this one a lot. Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. It's like, you know, why, you know, build a team around your strengths. If the Angels are pitching to a six-man rotation, then, you know, why, you know, why would you go out there and get Max Scherzer? You know, like that's stupid to say that. It might sound stupid to say that, but
he's not talking about Max Scherzer though. He's talking about like
Dylan Bundy.
Yeah, Dylan Bundy, who's going to go out there and throw up a 4.5 ERA, and for sure he's going to throw up a 4.5 ERA, but he's going to throw 175, 180 innings, or Robbie Ray. Like Robbie Ray threw 211 innings, I believe, last year. Like that's the type of guy he's talking about. And
Robbie Ray's not an innings eater. He won the Cy Young last year. You're talking about Jason Vargas type. You're talking about Dylan Bundy type. You're talking about what Alex Cobb was supposed to be type. Yep. A guy to eat those innings, that fifth or sixth starter type of guy. So I'm in full agreement with you. And I say that about the big names too. You know, it's like the Angels don't need to. The Angels can take a risk on the starting rotation. This Noah Syndergaard deal is the risk that they've been looking to take, because all you need is 120 to 130 innings out of Noah Syndergaard, and that gets you through the season. You know, like if Noah Syndergaard pitches 140 innings this year in the regular season, it's a success, right?
Depends on the numbers. You know, if he throws 140 and has a 4.5 ERA, I don't think that's worth it. But
you know what I'm saying?
So I guess he could easily throw a bunch of innings and have a good ERA, and then obviously it's worth it. But I think that's the reason why people want the innings eaters, though, is because typically the guys that have been known as the inning eaters over the last couple of free agent off seasons and trade markets have been the dudes. You know, the Max Scherzers, I guess Robbie Ray, even though I don't think of him as a dude. Those type of guys, Kevin Gausman, who, again, I don't think of as that type of dude, but Trevor Bauer, again, another guy who will eat innings for you, but he's also,
Dude.
you know, yeah, a dude. So I think that is why Angel fans and a lot of people are looking for the innings eaters, because they're like, hey, most of the guys that throw a bunch of innings are legit pitchers. And we are sick and tired of watching threes and fours go out there and say, hey, just throw us 100, 110, 120 innings. And it's like, so they throw us 75 innings and it's a 5 ERA, and we're just sitting here going, man, we could have had somebody else.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. That's why, though, I think that the Angels have been able to take risks in the rotation with guys that, you know, they're hoping are going to be good. Does that make sense?
Weird risks though. Like they're not even
Oh, not very good risks, not calculated risks
not
by any means.
smart, not smart risk.
Yeah, not smart risks by any means. I agree with you there. I do agree.
At least the Syndergaard risk is smart. You know, like
sense.
he has a shot. When you're making this type of move, you're hoping the dude can win the Cy Young.
Yeah,
that's what you're hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're telling me Julio Teheran was going to win a Cy Young or Jose Quintana was going to win a Cy Young, get out of here. Get out of here. You weren't gonna. They weren't going to. Like that was not a possibility.
How
but
dare
Noah
you
Syndergaard
about Jose Quintana?
Hey, you just stay in your Justin Upton lane, okay? If Syndergaard throws up Cy Young type numbers, this is clearly the best move the Angels could make. So I get what he's saying. I just think the Angel fans want a dude, and dudes don't want to pitch every seventh day. They don't. So that's kind of what the issue has been.
Yeah, Angels have a dude in Shohei Ohtani that wants to pitch every 6th or 7th day. Plain simple as that. They got you have that dude. So yeah, fantastic question. I'm kind of on that train of you don't need guys to throw 200 innings in this rotation. You need guys that throw 125 innings. Angels at the end of the day just need to get lucky. I think it's plain simple as that. Like you can talk about it, all you want, but you look at some of the guys that the Angels have brought over, and it's like, why haven't these guys worked out? Like Dylan Bundy last year. Like what in the world was wrong with it? He did the exact same thing he did the year before, and he was perfectly fine. So I don't know. I think the Angels need to get a little bit lucky. I think that's a big thing for him. So good question there. Next question comes from what is neat or not? That is not their name. This next question comes from Jack OCE. And he asked, what is needed to compete or to complete the 2022 bullpen you can trade, sign, or promote to fill out the pitching staff? So I'll say this. Let's say the 8th and 9th. Who's got the 8th inning right now? 9th inning's Raisel Iglesias. In a perfect world where we're talking like it used to be Shields, Frankie, and Percival, what is it this year look like to you?
So I think Loop is going to be in one of those roles. I think that they don't really care lefty righty with Loop. I think that's why you go get him, because he can get lefties and righties out. So I think he's going to be a possibility back there. Austin Warren could be a potential guy back there as well, because he was very successful. So that would get you 3 arms. If Ty Buttrey comes back to be Ty Buttrey, that would get you another arm to pitch in the back end. So that's 4 arms right there, right? And then you have Myers, which is 5. You would have to keep Berea on the roster because he goes to the Orioles or Pirates most likely would claim him if he does not. So was that 6? So you're looking at 2 arms? 2 arms?
Sam Bachman. Just give me my Sam Bachman.
You can have Sam Bachman. That would be fine. I wouldn't mind. Again, we preach this all the time. Go get 2 minor leaguers and say, hey, if you make the squad, you get $1 million. If you don't, you get nothing. Like it's that simple. There are so many guys still.
They did it last year. They did a great job of it last year too, by the way. Tony Watson and Steve Cishek. Fantastic job.
The funny thing was they had to wait and steal those guys after they were cut from other spring trainings. So, yeah, I think you just go get 2 arms and say minor league free agents. Carlos Martinez could be that guy, which I think that would be elite to put him in the back end of the bullpen. He could be really, really special if his velo is up. And I know we've talked about this a little bit, but there are a couple other guys. Brandon Kinsler has been decent, a nice sinker ball guy, kind of different from what the Angels have. Not as much velo, more ground ball type of guy. Brandon Workman, I guess, could possibly come in. There's a bunch of different. Sean Doolittle would be interesting as well on a minor league deal. There's so many relief pitchers that you could go get right now, and I think what the Angels have, they should be fine in the bullpen. I'm not really worried about the bullpen this year. It's the starting pitching. It's always the starting pitching and shortstop. Those are the only two question marks I have right now before the season starts. But then right when the season starts, obviously, there's going to be more question marks with who's playing first base against lefties, who's playing the outfield, things like that. So
yeah, I think at the end of the day, this is what makes this team different than years in the past, and that's the depth. We didn't bring up like you can throw Canning in the bullpen if you need to. Jansen Junk is a reliever by heart. I know the Yankees made him into a starter, but you look at what he was at Seattle University, an upper 90s guy with a dominant slider or dominant secondary pitch. Didn't mention Jose Marte with the upper 90s fastball and a disgusting slider. Didn't mention Elvis Peguero, upper 90s fastball, weird funky arm slot with a good slider. Didn't mention Oliver Ortega, who's an upper 90s guy with a good slider. Didn't mention Jose Quijada, who's upper 90s from the left side. Did not mention Chris Rodriguez coming back at the end of the season. I know.
He won't be back this year.
I know. You have to mention him though. We didn't mention Kyle Tyler, who is one of the best dudes in the bullpen at the end of the season. I absolutely love Kyle Tyler. I think that he is that guy that you kind of need in that bullpen to, if you're looking for that innings eater guy. Like I said, I really like Kyle Tyler. And then also you didn't mention the brothers, Wantz and Warren. I mean, I think you mentioned Warren, but you also have Wantz. You have Wantz in there as well. So I think that's really what makes this team different. And we've been preaching it for a long time. It's minor leaguers that have come up in the system. And this is what the Angels are doing right now. The Angels have this in the bullpen. The Angels and Perry Minasian have preached, get the bullpen, get the bullpen, get the bullpen. That's exactly what they did. That's why Perry Minasian, like you look at the Blue Jays, Perry Minasian and staff, because it wasn't just Perry, made a very good bullpen there for the Blue Jays. You look at the Atlanta Braves, World Series champions, had a very good bullpen. Perry Minasian was part of that staff. So if there's one thing that I trust Perry Minasian with, it is the bullpen. You know, like I said, I just rattled off a bunch of their names. You know, I think I think that's a big key. I think that's a big factor, and I think there's a lot of depth there. And I'm all good with going and signing some of those minor league free agent guys too, and giving them a shot. You know, Tony Watson and Steve Cishek were the two best relievers in the Angels bullpen minus Raisel Iglesias last year. I know everybody's laughing at me, but go look at Tony Watson's stats and go look at Steve Cishek's stats. I would love to go get both those guys back again. I'm all for it. Go sign those guys to 2-3 $3 million contract. Bring them back to Anaheim. Like you got yourself a bullpen. So I think, yeah, I'm not worried about the bullpen. I'm with you. I'm worried about the starting rotation and all the question marks in the rotation and in the lineup. So last two questions come from your favorite listener. That is Invasion of the Mikes. Still trying to figure out if his name's actually Mike. So first question, he's got two of them. Two pretty good questions. We'll be addressing one for the first time ever on this show. First question comes from, or is, with Manfred stating there is a verbal agreement with MLBPA about dropping draft pick compensation and the new CBA for free agents rejecting qualifying offers, what would potential ramifications be besides more trades at the deadline?
I think he's a liar. I don't think that
you think Mike's a liar. Or you think Manfred's a liar?
I think Manfred's a liar. I don't think that this is 100% happening. I think he's just trying to say something so that way it puts pressure on the players to come out and agree to something that they don't want to. So I'm not totally sold on this being a thing yet. I think that Manfred's just going to continue to spill nonsense until he either gets fired or he gets his way. But I'm not going to believe anything he says until it's signed and on paper and there's baseball being played. So I don't believe it. But if this is true, yes, the biggest ramification is everyone becomes available during the trade deadline, and it makes trade deadline fun, just like this last year, where pretty much anyone was available. There were a bunch of trades, big names going. I think that's the only benefit of that happening.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I don't have that to say. Can I pick a bone though real quick about an article that just came out?
If it's the one that I'm thinking of, can we wait? Because I was going to ask that question.
Who wrote it?
Passing.
No, not
Oh,
passing. I'm trying to think. I think it was Nightingale, so don't quote me on this.
Passan. Excuse me,
No,
Passan.
it's not. I think Nightingale came out with one. No, it wasn't Nightingale. Somebody from the Athletic, because Nightingale's not part of the Athletic, I don't think.
If he is, I can't believe Ken Rosenthal lets that guy in.
No, okay. The title of this article was "The players need to come to the table with a legitimate offer."
No. Oh my
Oh my god.
gosh.
Oh my god. Come on. Like I can't believe that, first off, the Athletic. Like I know it's
That
clickbait.
sounds like a Bob Knight. That sounds like a Bob Knight.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it was Nightingale though, because I don't know if Nightingale's
It
part of it.
could be. No, it could be. That sounds like an article you'd write.
I wanted to quote tweet it, but yeah, I mean, to kind of sidetrack that question from Mike, I saw that article and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? The players need to come. Like, no, the players do not need to come to the table with a
They
legit
have
proposal.
come to the table with a legit
They
proposal.
have.
They're
It's
not coming out and saying, "Oh, hey, we made this offer just to get the ball rolling." No, we made this offer to get accepted, and you didn't want to, so let's find somewhere in the middle.
Oh, if anything, the players did kick up a little bit. Like a legitimate proposal might have been like $80 million type of thing. Like we're increasing to 330 or 235 instead of 240. Like that's a legit proposal. So they could have kicked it up a little bit. But I mean,
You,
I definitely lean more towards the player side of things. Like
you
when you
play
look,
stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and those are the stupid prizes Rob Manfred has won. Is the players are going to kick up their money a little bit more because he
100%,
continues to do stupid things. So
100%.
play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
So sorry to kind of sidetrack that question from you there, Mike. But I saw that article and I felt like, what in the hell is the Athletic thinking about putting something this stupid out? That's the stupidest thing that you can possibly say. I didn't read the article, but the name of the article, it was like, what in the hell do we got going on here? No, the players do not need to come to the table with a legit. The owners need to come to the table with a legit proposal. That last proposal wasn't legit. It was fucking bullshit. Wow.
Hey, you said it was good.
R-rated. I said it was a step. It was a step in
I
the right
just have
direction.
to give
It
you a
was a
hard time.
proposal. I know. So last question here of the day until we come back on Monday. I have no more questions. We'll just get hopefully back into some more baseball talk on Monday.
I got one more question for you.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I got Invasion of the Mics, your favorite
Okay,
person.
go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
he says, with the Eric K trial kicking off, will all the negative Angels press play into trying to sign a top tier free agent once the lockout ends? He has another question on top of that. Is there a concern with the Angels clubhouse culture, or is that something of the past since management has changed? Started off, I don't think the Eric K, now Matt Harvey, investigations really have much to do with it, because I mean you don't hear much about it. It's the social media world hates that the Angels, that those who follow the Angels, me included, don't have a lot to say about rumors and such. This is one of those times where this is coming in handy, because there's not a lot of press going out there. There are articles being written, but there's not a lot of talk, it seems like, in the social media standpoint of the Tyler Skaggs trial, until it ends, of course. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot in the background. I know there's been some little things come out here and there, but until that trial ends, I don't think that is a huge deal at the moment. And I think the Angels are doing a very good job of masking that. So I don't know if you have anything to say on that standpoint. We've never mentioned Eric K on this
No,
podcast for reasons.
we do not mention that.
We don't.
All I was going to say is it feels like what Joe Madden and company has been really trying to take control over the last 2 years is the clubhouse. And you look at, that's why we got Dexter Fowler last year. That's why He brought in some of the guys who have played with him in Chicago and Tampa Bay because of the clubhouse culture that he's built there. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think people know who Joe Madden is. They know like his antics, and either they like it or they don't. So I don't think the negative press from, prior regime is going to play any factor into that.
Yeah, I think that leadership was a thing that was very much so lacking in the clubhouse. And that's just stuff that we heard. We don't know if that's true, but it was definitely something that, with the talent that the Angels put out there, should have, it should have brought some type of postseason berth over the past couple years. And there could have been some demons in the clubhouse for sure in previous years. So I think that is all kind of taken care of. I think that once Joe Madden stepped in, that was the one thing that needed to happen. And now it seems like the communication from clubhouse to front office is trying to be corrected, so little steps at a time. I don't know if that was a huge deal, but it could have been something that Joe Madden addressed, like, hey, we need better communication if we want to win this thing between the club, between my managerial skills, because he is an old school manager. He's not taking phone calls from the front office during games. It's his game. It's not Perry's game. For what it's worth. For what it's worth, this year it might be with Perry bringing in Ray Montgomery and bringing him as a bench coach. But yeah, I think the clubhouse culture is a lot better. I'll say that. I don't know where it was, but you look at a lot of the figures that were in there. Matt Harvey, in one of them. Not that this is a bad thing. I'm not bringing that Matt Harvey up at all either, because of what the allegations now are. But we know Matt Harvey is a clubhouse nuisance. This is exactly why
he's a party guy. He doesn't care if he's pitching that day or not. He was going to go out every single day, and that was kind of what we had heard about him in New York, and that's why it didn't really work out. That's why he was great in Cincinnati. There wasn't that much to do out there.
Yeah. So I mean, and on top of that, you look at, this is exactly why we didn't want Trevor Bauer. That's exactly why the Angels weren't in on Trevor Bauer. 1,000%. That's why. That's why the Angels, supposedly, according to Trevor Bauer, and Trevor Bauer doesn't lie very often, they didn't even offer him a contract. So according to Trevor Bauer, so I don't know how true that is, but yeah, we'll kind of see down the road what happens. So Nate, you got any final thoughts? You had a Passan article?
I have one that I do. It's breaking news, and I don't think you are going to like this. I actually like it. MLB seeks ability to reduce size of the domestic reserve list in latest labor offer to players union. So currently the domestic reserve list, which governs the number of minor league players a team can roster at any time, is at 180. That's a lot of minor leaguers. They're trying to get it down below 150.
Nope, not for it. You already cut down the minor leagues. You already cut down the minor leagues, and nothing has happened.
I knew you weren't going to be for it.
What's cutting down the minor leagues anymore? What's cutting down the minor leagues anymore?
I think it's better.
I'm not with it, dude. I can't.
I think if you get it down to a number where it's reasonable, you stop having these joke draft picks, because I'm sick and tired of seeing guys drafted because their brother's sister's mother's uncle is, an ex big leaguer or is an MLB scout or something like that. So you will have teams start to take this seriously. You won't have a Johnny Manziel drafted. You won't have any of those kind of picks. You will also you will save some money and hopefully start paying these minor leaguers a little bit more. Now, if this and the spring training thing were together, this is an absolute joke.
No, this is.
But if it was separate, if it was like, hey, this is what we're going to put out there for minor leaguers. If we cut this down to 140, like, would you, we'll start paying minor leaguers a little bit more. I think it's interesting. I think it would be. I think it gives the Angels a real chance. Actually, it helps them because you don't have Tampa Bay and New York with 75 guys who, are better than the Angels' top 5.
No, I'm not with it. That's a development thing that you just mentioned there. If you you took away
And I think the
how many
Phantom
teams?
DL is a joke too. The
How
Phantom
many
DL is a joke.
how many minor league teams did you take away?
How many minor league teams do you need? These teams have 7 or 8 minor league teams. You don't need
No,
that many
everybody's
teams.
everybody's got an exact amount of minor league teams now. Everybody has the same amount of minor league teams. You
Well,
have the
now
Dominican.
I
You
know,
have the Dominican. Yeah,
but
you have the
before it was
Dominican.
8.
Well, now we don't need to.
Yeah.
Now we don't need to kick down the minor leagues anymore. Nope. Sorry, man.
They
Like, I'm
should.
not agreeing with you on this one. You don't need to kick down the minor league. You kick down the
They
minor
should.
leagues 50 teams already. You know, you've taken jobs away from 50 teams already. You know, and I'm not a
I'm,
big fan of
you
the.
might not be you might not be taking jobs from teams though. You're just taking the Phantom DL out of this thing.
Nah.
The Phantom DL is a joke. Like the dude pitches, throws a gem, and it's like, oh, he's been placed on the IL because we need to call this guy up so he gets another chance. Like
No.
that shouldn't be a thing.
Here's where you're at. Here's where I'm at with this. You took away all these minor league teams about what 6 months ago or something like this, or last season, not even
A
6 months.
year ago.
Last season, a year ago. All the minor league teams are no longer. You said that this is going to help us. This is going to help us not pay the players more, but this is going to give them a better situation in the minor leagues. Nothing has happened. You're going to start kicking down minor leaguers even more. No, you already took away. You've already dropped minor league teams. You've already had that. You know, you've already taken away the money from all these minor leaguers. You know, and on top of that, you don't want to pay minor leaguers for spring training.
Okay, that's a joke. That should
It's the same
not
thing.
be a thing.
It's the
But
same thing.
no, do you know how many times I've heard from friends in the minor leagues that are like, oh yeah, so we have so and so on our team. His dad's brother is so and so, and he's absolute trash, but he's out here every single day and he's playing. That's a waste of space.
Well,
The
no,
guy never makes the guy
well,
never makes the big leagues. He literally is down there for the entire year, just taking up space and
yeah.
playing his 4 years and then getting cut. Take those guys away. Every team has 5-10 of those guys.
Still
Get
gonna,
rid of those.
they're organizational guys. I'm all for it. And no, you've already
Get rid of
done
them.
this. You did this last
Get rid of
season.
them.
You don't need to drop minor league. You don't need, that's another 30 players is another team. So you're saying we're going to get rid of the Dominican Summer League. You're saying we're going to get rid of the Arizona Summer League. We're getting rid of low A. We're getting rid of high A. We're getting rid of double A. We're getting rid of triple A. We're getting rid of one of those teams again after you've gotten rid of 50 other teams.
To be
30,
fair though,
30 players, another team. So
to
you're
be
now
fair,
saying
with the Dominican team, half those kids don't even make it to the U.S.
half those kids do make it to the U.S.
At least half those kids don't make it to the U.S.
Oh, 100%.
So
Take
if
another
we're paying we're paying those guys to sit there and mess around in the Dominican League for a couple years, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and they're not making it to the U.S. So why not just send them to the U.S. right away? Send half the guys that are actually good. Send them to the U.S. and say, are you good enough or are you not?
You can't. You can't. You can't.
You can.
If so, no. Okay. If you're doing
You
this,
can.
you have. So if you're doing this, this is so. If you're kicking it down, that means that you need to now institute an international draft. So is that the way that
Which
we're rolling?
I've been fine with.
Okay.
I've been fine with that. I've been wanting
And
that.
that also means
for
that
I don't
you
know how
need to
long.
wait until you also need to wait until kids are 18 in the Dominican and in the islands.
That's fine.
Venezuela.
That is fine.
So
That is fine.
So
Why
if
do
this
they
is a
get special
byproduct,
treatment?
again, if this is a byproduct of this, so like if you're saying we're not doing the Dominican anymore, you know, you're first off, you're going to lose a lot of stuff in there. I'm just letting you know, you're losing a lot
You
of
might.
of stuff in the Dominican and Venezuela and internationally.
But why do they get special treatment? Why do they get special treatment?
What kind of special treatment do they get?
They're allowed to sign at 14, 15?
16.
You can't sign 14, 15 here.
No, you cannot sign. But
Okay.
16.
Yeah. 16.
Some guys
Some of those guys, I'm sure, are not 16.
17. You can get drafted as early as 17, if not, 18. So you have
17.
Or
you have to graduate. You have to graduate high school, and also, yes, they might be 16, but they also could be 14. We don't know if the birth certificates are real. We've already had those guys. The Miguel Tejada is 2 years older than he actually is. It happens all the time. Yeah. So why are these guys getting special treatment? Like, make it the same for everyone. You have to finish high school. You have to be 17 and a half before you get drafted. That's fine.
If it's a byproduct of other things, then sure, that's fine. If you're just taking away 30 minor leaguers, 35 minor leaguers because you say, hey, we don't want to pay for the Arizona, we don't want to pay for Arizona anymore, or hey, we don't want to pay for the Dominican anymore, then that's an issue for me. If it's a byproduct of, hey, we're going to an international draft and these kids now have to be 18 to be drafted, go for it, 100%. If it's just, we don't want to spend this type of money anymore, which, knowing Manfred and knowing the owners, that's what it is. They just did this. They did this a year ago to spend less money, to spend more money on minor leaguers. And yet we still had issues of minor leaguers living together in a motorhome, sleeping in clubhouses, sleeping in their cars, not being able to afford rent for houses in San Bernardino, in anywhere like that. So why, I'm not quite understanding why this is a good thing, unless it's a byproduct of, hey, we're getting rid of the Dominican, but we're going to have an international draft. We're going to make these kids get drafted only at the age of 18 and older,
17 and a half.
17 and a half and older, whatever you want it to be. It's all this collusion, all this colluding is going to go away, because that is something 100% that happens, in this whole international thing. So if it's a byproduct, I'm all for it. Do it. Cool with me. But if it's just because we're saving money, nope, you already did that. You cut 50 teams to save money and spend money on those minor leaguers, and you didn't do it. So,
and if they're doing this to save money, then they need to be absolutely moving so much money to the players. Ridiculous. Like they should be moving it up to 250 and making there be a floor of 100 mil. Like this needs to be a thing. So
you cannot continue you cannot continue to attempt to save money just to save money. You have to save that money for it to go to a different location. That's the whole point of this CBA thing. You have to give and take. You cannot just say, hey, we're not paying minor leaguers, for the hell of it. Hey, we're taking away 30 roster spots, 35 roster spots for the hell of it to save money. No, you have to have a byproduct of this. We are getting rid of these 30 spots because we are going to institute a international draft. We are going to take away the Dominican, and we are going to make sure these kids get drafted at a right age, instead of wasting our time and our money on kids that never develop and leave the Dominican and such like that. So yes, if it's a byproduct of something, I am in a full agreement with you. So fantastic final thought, Nate. You got us going for an extra 10 minutes of this podcast. I hope everybody enjoyed listening and watching to us here at Talking Halos. Do you have anything else? Looks like you want to say something. You got something?
No, that was it. We were good. No,
okay, cool. Good. Fantastic. Thank you for listening to us rant here at Talking Halos. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will see you guys on Monday. If you could subscribe wherever you're listening to us or watching us, you can follow us on all our social medias on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Again, congratulations to the former St. Louis Rams and now Los Angeles Rams on winning the Super Bowl. Super Bowl week is now over. We will not be talking about the Super Bowl anymore, and hopefully we'll be getting Derek Ciapala back on the show with us. Super excited for that. So, guys, thank you so much for listening, and have a great rest of your day.